In many ways, I see devotion and love actually as the same. It's hard to separate them because I think what we see in our society as love today is not truly love. So what we see in our society is often very transactional. I'll show up for this if you show up for that. I'll do this as long as I get that from my partner. Yes, I love them, but then there's often so many conditions on love, conditions on the things that we're going to be available for and show up for. So I think the word love is not very well understood. I think the word love is used, but not necessarily embodied. I think it's often used in some ways as a bargaining, a negotiating, a control, an attempt to get what we want. So there's a lot of ways in which love is not present in relationships. And so it's actually bringing this element of the sacred nature of our relationships that invites an inquiry of what really is love. And for me, love includes devotion. Like, for example, at night when I go to bed and I see that Rod's already put on the bedside lamp for me and folded back the covers, I see devotion in that. In a moment when, let's say yesterday, Rod had a really full client day yesterday and I had no clients yesterday. So checking his timing yesterday to be like, okay, here's your smoothie before the first client. Okay, what time are you going to finish your second client? Here's lunch for when you finish your second client. So that's devotion. It's making love very practical, lived and embodied, so that when I'm passing him that smoothie before his first client, I don't need him to do anything in return. There's no transaction in it. It's simply making his day smoother so that he doesn't have to spread his energy too wide. He can just be fully focused on his clients. Similarly, when I see that he's pulled back my covers, or if he's made dinner because I've had a long work day, he's not doing those things because he wants something from me. He's not doing those things because he's thinking, oh, if I do those things, then she'll be nice to me. Or if I do those things, then maybe she'll be available for sex. Like, there's none of these things in our relationship have transactions attached to them. We're loving each other simply as an act of love. And so that's where it really and truly becomes the devotion. The transactional nature is stripped out of it. And from very early on in our relationship, we had a discussion around not leaving each other hungry sexually, a sense of sex always being available and present and alive in our relationship. Because when sex is present and alive, it then doesn't get used as a transaction. And that's part of the devotion, as well as not using sex as the transaction, understanding that both of us have a certain need for sexual intimacy and making sure that cup is always full as well.
If you look up love in the dictionary, you'll notice it's a verb. A verb is a doing word. Think about that for a moment. A doing word. It requires action. It's an activity. It's something that has to be done. It's not something that's going to happen. Notice the difference. If you sit and wait for love, that's inactivity. It will never come. Love is something that we do. Devotion is the act of love. It's literally how a human being does love. The action of love is devotion. So allow devotion to become a part of your day. Being devoted to your work, devoted to your children, devoted to friends, to family, devoted to your purpose. And of course, devoted to your intimate partner.
Beautiful. Thank you.